The bullet idli or the button idlis here, especially the sambar, reminds me of the sort that I'd probably find in South Canara. I wonder if there's a South Canara connection to this place.
Building is some 100 years
100 years old.
We got a small tile, 1901.
Really?
Yeah. This is ghee roast.
That's a dosa that's really soft. Well, when it comes to the breakfast of champions here in Kerala, God's own country, it's the puttu, and the traditional accompaniment to it is the kadla curry. Well, I have the peri peri idli, which I'm told is an innovation of the restaurant. This is head. This is Gauri. Gauri is head. I love that sizzle of that fish as it's getting fried here. So the setup is more like a house, and so he with his wife, who incidentally comes from South Canara, they began their eatery, and since then came the trend of the Mandagade fish restaurants. So this fish, I'm told, is called a gujol. The fish seems to have a certain fattiness to it. There's a fish that's certainly very buttery in its texture. That is delicious. Akki roti, tasted with some of the fish curry, the mean sambar. That curry is kadak. I remember when we used to travel on this road years ago, maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there were no decent stops barring one or two. You literally had to plan your meal stops well in advance, leave alone a sumptuous meaty meal like this. Kal soup. Mutton fry, fantastic. Well, that's a delicious piece of meat. There's a bit of fat too, that's holding on to the meat. The keema is quite coarsely ground, which is nice, so you can actually bite into the meat. I think it's a typical onion tomato sort of a base for the masala. I want to mop that nati koli saru with my neer dosa, with the tellau. And since the batter of this dosa is quite thin, the consistency of water, we also call it tellau in South Canara. So when I look at the menu there are probably at least over 100 varieties of dosa. This is dosa on a whole new level. I've lost track of the ingredients that are going into it. This is a beetroot, some gunpowder. Those are the quail eggs. Very creamy and rich in its flavor notes. I've tasted many a dosa, but this certainly is something different altogether. I wanted something to wash down the heat of the spice that I tasted in that dosa. Well, that's an avocado shake. That's extremely thick. All three dishes that I've tasted thus far, be it that pearl spot or that kunju roast, and now this potterichi, are the sort that have hit the spot. Here I'm tasting the flavor of that garam masala, I'm tasting the warmth of the pepper, a bit of the flavor from the curry leaf. All that has come together in some good coconut oil. Now I know why so many families flock to the Grand Hotel restaurant. So every day ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? 500 ಮೊಟ್ಟೆಸ್. Well, tells you how busy Devdas is all evening. ಇದೇನು ಆಮ್ಲೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಹೌದು, ಎಗ್ ರೋಲ್ ಇದು.
ಎಗ್ ರೋಲ್?
ಹೌದು.
Fantastic.
ಆಮ್ಲೆಟ್ಗೆ.
Well, you can see that egg, and then you can also see some of that egg chili that's safely cocooned within its folds. What I like here is that the omelette is very nicely seasoned, and I like that creamy, powdery texture of the egg yolk, no? Charmuri with boiled egg. Fantastic. This is such a happy riot of colors, textures and ingredients. So the crowd here is a combination, I think, of some locals, some truckers. This is basically where people stop for a hearty breakfast. So I'm told for breakfast it's mostly the kappa roti that you do. ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾನು ಕಪ್ಪ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ ತಿಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಈವರೆಗೆ.
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು ಕಪ್ಪ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ.
I love that aroma from roasting in that clay vessel. What's also nice is that it's very spongy and the sort of roti that will soak up the saru quite greedily. You can see that the kappa roti is still steaming away. It's as hot as that. Oh, I love the thick texture of that curry. You can almost bite into the coconut there. I love the manner in which that masala is sizzling, holding in its embrace that fish, the pomfret, the mackerel and the reef cod. If you're a Mangalorean, this is a happy sight.
Yes sir, very much.
There's wisps of steam emanating through that pomfret. I can taste some ginger in that masala there now, and the flavor of that curry leaf. Well, that's a loaded thali, and this is typically what you would get for lunch. You have a piece of the anjal fry. You got some bolanjir here in a rava fry. You got some sandige. You got some marwai. I think this is a sukka. You've got some squid in a uppu munchi style. You have some sambar. There's a mulangi palya. Now that mulangi will have a tough time trying to stand up to all the other stars that you have here. You have a fish curry, and then you have a puli munchi with the yetti. Well, at 349, there's plenty that you're getting. I think this is the place where all of Mangaluru congregates in the morning. This is a place that beckons visitors from far and wide. I just met visitors who've come from the US, who come from the UK. When they return to Mangaluru, they return to the new Shivbag Cafe. Sajjige roti. There are some dishes that are quintessential Mangalorean. Get some of the bajil, some of the avlaki, and now get some of the uppittu, some of the sajjige. This is the sort of breakfast that you don't find anywhere else. You have to come to Mangaluru. That's where you have to be. It's a little thick, it's a little stodgy, but I like the manner in which it coats my tongue. There's a bit of the earthiness that you taste of the ragi, and somewhere in there, wisps of cardamom.
ಅವರು ಒಂದು 4-5 ಪೀಪಲ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗಿ ಈಗ ಮೆಸ್ ಆಗೋದು.
अब इंस्टीट्यूशन आಗಿದೆ. Eddie's mess everybody knows. ಮಸಾಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು ಮನೆ ಮಸಾಲಾ ಟೈಪ್.
You can taste also.
The atmosphere here is quite rudimentary. I mean, it is a mess after all, but I think it's more about the hospitality of Mr. and Mrs. D'Souza. I'm going to taste a bit of the kandhari. And what's nice about the masala that the fish is napped in is that it's got just the perfect amount of seasoning. There's a bit of the warmth that I'm tasting from the chili. There's a depth of the masala that is dark roasted. Let's now turn our attention to that mutton chops. Get a piece of the meat and
ಚಟ್ಟ ಮಾಡ ಉಂಟು, ಪರೋಟ ಮಾಡ ಉಂಟು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಬನ್ಸ್ ಉಂಟು, ಪೂರಿ ಬಾಜಿ.
ಸರಿ, ನನಗೆ ಬಿಸ್ಕುಟ್ ರೋಟಿಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. I think I want to make a beginning with that biscuit roti. That's a roti that's crispy on the outside Let's now taste some of that balekai Bengal gram palya. There's a bit of the crunch of the coconut. The Bengal gram is cooked to the point that it is still firm but yields to the lightest of bites. So the atmosphere is the sort that instantly transports you back to the turn of the last century. That's the manner in which they've preserved this house. This is an eatery that goes back 92 years. I'm sure that yogurt's going to have a very cooling, very calming effect on that slightly warming, slightly spicy avlaki. Sir, bere ne de? Life couldn't have been better for Veena until one fine day she returned to her place and found that it had been razed to the ground. She was left with no recourse but to try and build all over again. How was it compared to that place?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
But is it looking fine?
No, sir, it is not looking fine. It was running in loss.
So how are you managing? Your prices are still the same. 10 rupee dosa, plain dosa.
Yes.
You were on the street at 10 rupee plain dosa in a shop also. So when I came here, I expected to find a Veena who was completely down and out. But you're still smiling. Huh?
Life has to move on, sir.
Life has to move on. There's plenty of curry leaf too that I'm seeing in this dosa. Mutton biryani?
Yes, sir.
Oh, chicken biryani kuda is there.
Yeah.
I love the aroma of that biryani. It's jostling with the smoky atmosphere of the place.
ಸರ್ ಇದು ಬೋಟಿ ಅವರೇಕಾಳು ಬೋಟಿ ಗೊಜ್ಜು ಅಂತ ಇದು ಇಡ್ಲಿಗಂತೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಮಟನ್ ಕುರ್ಮಾ ನನಗೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಇದು. ಬಂದು ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಊಟ ತಿನ್ನಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಬಂದು ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದವ್ರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹುಡ್ಕೊ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ.
Oh, chicken chops.
Yeah. ಇದು ತಲೆ ಮಾಂಸ ಸರ್. ಇದು ಹಿಚ್ಕಿದ ಅವರೇ ಬೇಳೆ ಕೈಮಾ ಅಂತ ಸರ್. ಇದು
Peeled hyacinth bean. Fantastic. And I'm told the combination here is the idli. That idli is soft with some of that boti. Also get some of that avre bele. So when you want to have the yamu within biryani,
Yes.
this is where you should come.
Yes, I will personally suggest to come here because the experience of having the Chennai style biryani amongst the local, I think it gets fulfilled here.
Alright, so you got to come in early so that you beat the hustle and bustle of the place.
Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't know from whose plate you're eating. It will be so crowded.
Chicken biryani, fantastic. Mutton biryani. And the chukka. You know what's nice is that the rice, even to the touch, feels very light. And also it's a sort where every grain of the rice is separate. And hits home on the flavor department. Our Chennai, our pride. I love the manner in which that curry mean is sitting there submerged, almost luxuriating in that moru curry. It's soaking it all in. Idi chakka, the tender texture of that jackfruit is quite unique. I love the earthiness of the kurka. I love that sweet, saline nature of the prawn. The prawns are soft, almost a bit springy. And when you get to the prawn, then you're also tasting the toastiness of that coconut. I'm sorry to intrude, but this probably is the softest piece of lamb that I've placed in my mouth. Reggie? So on the outside the fish is nice and flaky with that crust of that masala. The fish is steaming away on the inside. Thank you very much, chef. That's a tender chop there with a baby potato. Today was one of those days when I had a big lunch. So for dinner I wanted to eat something light, something vegetarian. You can taste the lentils a lot.
Exactly. The sambar is our sambar. It's not as spicy as the Tamil sambar. It is not as sweet as the Bangalore sambar.
That is what
We are famous for.
the rasam vada.
Our chili cheese toast is very famous.
That's a bisi bele baat.
Yes. What about? We are the first people to start this multi-cuisine concept
In Chennai.
in Chennai.
Well, look at this. Where will you find this? A kire dosa rubbing shoulders with a penne arrabbiata and followed closely by the fried rice. This is a dosa that has a lot of ghee. You said this is a light dosa, but you can certainly taste.
No, maybe for Kripal Amanna, they little more love they would have put.
The fingers do all the talking. It's a light dosa, but there's plenty of tuppa. After all, it's a tuppa dosa.
Tuppa dosa.
So this is the famous chicken 65. It looks red, but it's a pot of gold or the plate of gold here when you come to Buhari in Chennai. Huh? Ah, the bird is nice and juicy inside. What I also like is that you're biting into more of the filling than the outermost layer of that samsa. The flavor that you taste in this bun is quite akin to what you would taste in a mawa cake, of course at a much lighter level. I think this biryani comes alive when tasting the rice in combination with the meat. Somewhere there I can also now taste a bit of the heat that comes from the red chili powder. So I think this is a biryani that slowly works its magic. The band of chefs behind me are going to make an attempt to make the longest dosa in the world. Yes?
This year is our 100 years of MTR. We decided to do something which is unique. The earlier dosa record was 54 feet. So we wanted to cross 100 feet. 111 trials we had done.
Well, the batter is being poured into that batter hopper. As you can see the color of that batter, that's a red rice batter. So 75 chefs, that's what it takes to make a record-breaking dosa. This is fantastic. Just watching this come together is amazing. Well, this is almost like a military drill. Roll to complete it. Roll 3. Fantastic.
After that, we are meeting now.
17 years. Well, so I know Chef Venkatesh, but as a chef in Bengaluru, so today you're a hugely popular personality here in Tamil Nadu. I don't think there's a food personality who's touched so many hearts like your show has, right?
God has been kind. Yeah. 30 years on the range, in fire, I have learnt. Begging people, Anna, solli kudunga, please, health kodi sir.
Tell me.
Tell me, what is that?
Ain't secret, ಇದು bundle
ಇದೇನ್ ಪೊಡಿ ಒಂದು ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಏನದು ಹಾಗಂತ. I see in front of me in the camera a 19-year-old girl, a 20-year-old boy going to US. Somebody who is married and come in now, who doesn't know anything about South Indian food. I want those people to do it. There will be some dishes that will have my name, Royal Indian Rasam, Chef Venkatesh Bhat specialty.
So what makes your rasam special?
I make it.
I can actually visualize this. The rasam is here. Chef Venkatesh Bhat must be in the kitchen itself. Bring him out. I want to take a picture with him.
When you said that you are in Chennai, I readily agreed upon meeting you because of the fact that it is so nice to see a person who's sharing same type of passion. That one there, that's the Vella Paniyaram. You take a ladle of the batter and then pour it. And then it bubbles and it comes up. And then the flower type of a shape comes because of the bubbling of the oil. You have to get the shape of the flower in the outside. Then the batter consistency is right. I'm not that very critical at home while eating.
Well, you're a wise man to do that. Each one of your South Indian nibbles that we've tasted have been absolutely exciting. Right from that Pundu dosa to that Vella Paniyaram,
Unniyappam, Dampalagaram,
this
Puvazhai puttu. It's hot.
chude irukku.
1 spoon of that and 1 piece of this.
I think if Chef Venkatesh Bhat is sitting at the table and they're serving his rasam, you think they'll have the courage to serve?
No. You can't take it for granted. The line she said, I will never forget in my life. She said, he is Shivaji Ganeshan in cinema. For us, you are Shivaji Ganeshan in the kitchen.
So Mark, what do you think of
Yes.
our Bengaluru style egg fried rice?
This is phenomenal.
Huh?
It's just so tasty.
So I've got a double egg now.
Okay.
A double egg Manchurian. That is good, right?
Was that a dosa song?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready to tuck
Oh.
into the avre bele dose?
I cannot wait. This is something truly magnificent, magical. Hot and fresh off the griddle.
Hot and fresh off the griddle,
Look
and
at that texture.
you can see the light.
You can see through it.
Yes, it reveals everything that's there within it.
So she's just put in the fresh batch. I love the way, as soon as she inserts those bell peppers, they just rise to the surface. They bob around and float in that oil.
That's
the
right.
buoyancy. They're so buoyant.
Also, if you look at the way she's applied the batter, just enough. She's not trying to do too much there. So as they cook, you will also see that the bell peppers are beginning to express themselves even through that batter. They're almost erupting through that batter.
Yes.
At this point, his objective is only to coat that cauliflower with a bit of crunch. It's hot, huh? But he's making light work of that. Bismillah.
We got to eat it fast, right out of the wok. Oh, wow.
That crunch.
I almost salivated. If you told me it was chicken, I would believe you. You know it's going to be a one-bite wonder. Oh, man. Sweet and savory and salty and creamy and tangy.
The flavor of that spice mix that's somehow suspended in that chilled, refreshing dahi.
And the puri just collapse, unleashing all of those chutneys into your mouth.
The mint, the earthy sweetness of the jaggery is quite syrupy. The reason why this chaat is so impressionable in the flavors that it delivers on your palate is because the base layer on that puri is the potato. So the potato is a perfect, all-embracing sort of ingredient that readily assimilates all flavors, all chutneys, all spices.
Yeah, it mothers you.
Yeah,
It mothers you.
that's the word. I'll see you, Mark. Nice knowing you.
Nice to see you. Oh, what a breakfast.
Dari pidi. Well, we've got all the idli and vade that we're going to be tasting here at Brahmin's Coffee Bar. I'm going to place that idli in your mouth, and Mark, don't move your lips. Don't move your teeth. I want you to place it in your mouth.
Okay.
So when you step into Vidyarthi Bhavan, you will feel like you've stepped back in time.
Another sprinkle of ghee goes on. Oh, a little dollop of butter goes on.
It's like the final blessing from the dosa maker.
Yes.
Now you can leave.
Oh, the first bite. That is unbelievably crispy in your fingers. And Kripal, probably the first bite, no chutney, right?
No
Just
chutney.
taste the
As
pureness
is.
of it. Okay.
You would have tasted many a idli, but I can promise you the idli that you will taste here, you've not tasted before.
So we definitely have to taste it first on its own before dipping into the sambar and the chutney.
Yes.
And there's pieces of grated coconut in here too.
That's right.
Oh.
So it's coconut in the coconut
Oh,
and the aroma of the coconut oil.
yes. That is taking the idli to a new height.
So one is a Kumbakonam style, which is the Tamil Nadu style of coffee roast. We'll do a Maharaja, which is some of the best coffee beans from Karnataka.
Whoa. Love that flavor. That flavor is so good.
So it's all about mutton here and different parts of the sheep. So when you talk about nose to tail, Gowdra Mudde Mane specializes in that.
Yeah, but that's a cool massaging technique, and you can see how sticky it is, how much elasticity it has,
Yes.
right?
So there's a bit of butter that goes in just to smoothen it a bit, give it a bit of a luster. No pressure required.
It's so tender. Oh man. Oh, that's ridiculously tender.
This is meatiness at a whole new level.
With every bite, you totally want to just drench it in the masala. Oh, I got a big nugget of meat that time. Oh man, the meat is kind of encased within this layer of fat.
Thank you. Oh, I love it. I love the initial earthy sweetness that comes from the palm jaggery and then the warmth.
இப்போ வெயில் டைம்ல கொஞ்சம் காரம் கம்மி பண்ணிடுவோம் சரி ஏன்னா சாப்பிட முடியாது குளிர் டைம்ல கொஞ்சம் காரம் ஜாஸ்தி போடுவோம்
Mudavata Kelangu. So Kelangu means tuber, is it?
Tuber.
And Mudavata means?
Mudavu means joint pain.
Oh, so it's a joint pain healing tuber.
That's right.
Fantastic.
இது மொடவாட்டி கிழங்கு
Mudavata Kelangu soup. Oh, I thought it was a piece of meat.
Looks like a mutton pie.
It looks like mutton paya only. So in terms of its texture, the fish is quite firm. It's almost meaty in its texture, isn't it? This is a meal that has its roots in the cuisine of the land.
Actually, this is the native food of Yerkat.
Okay.
That means the hill tribals. And these hill tribes, they will cook and eat the food whichever is available in the forest. When there is a season, tribal used to collect the materials, sun dry it, and they will pound it and keep it ready for the future purpose.
So this is a tribal masala.
Yes.
Can I?
Yes, sir. This one masala, they will use it throughout the year. Kaliman koli noodles,
Tribal fish fry.
coconut shell prawn fry, mutton bamboo fries.
I can only visualize what this would have been had it been served straight off the wale LA. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating.